A warm morning in July, 1518. In the streets of Strasbourg, a quiet town in the Holy Roman Empire, a woman steps into the open air, and begins to dance. She doesn't stop. She doesn't smile. She just dances. For hours. By the end of the day, people gather around her, confused and concerned. But no one knows, this is just the beginning of something horrifying. Within a week, dozens are dancing alongside her. Not for fun, not for joy. They dance as if possessed. Their faces twisted with exhaustion and fear. They dance until their feet bleed, their bodies collapse, and some even dance themselves to death. This isn't a tale from a horror novel. This actually happened, in real history. To this day, no one can explain why. Was it a sickness? A mass panic? A curse? Or something darker? Welcome to Dark Intel. In today's episode, we're diving deep into one of the strangest and most terrifying events in human history. The Dancing Plague of 1518. Grab your headphones, dim the lights. Because once we step into this story, there's no turning back. In the summer of 1518, the town of Strasbourg was bustling, as usual, with trade, gossip, and the daily routines of its citizens. People woke, worked, and slept. But on this particular July day, something extraordinary and terrifying began. It started with a single woman, known only as Frau Trophia. She was in her 30s, a housewife, when she suddenly began to move in strange ways. Her body jerking and twitching, like she couldn't control herself. It wasn't dancing for fun. It wasn't a celebration. It was, as though she was compelled to move. At first, onlookers thought it was a simple fit or seizure. But the movements continued. Hour after hour. And then, as if pulled by some invisible force, others began to join her. The crowd around her grew, and so did the dancing. More and more people danced without rest, often twisting and jerking uncontrollably, their faces grimacing in fear, exhaustion, and confusion. By the end of the week, the number of dancers had swollen to 30. By the end of the month, it had reached over 400. For some, the dancing was a slow and painful thing, like being dragged along by their own bodies. But for others, it was terrifyingly fast and intense. Many dancers collapsed in exhaustion, only to be dragged back up and forced to continue moving. Some died from sheer exhaustion, others from heart failure. It wasn't just the physical toll, it was as if the people had no control over their bodies, driven to this bizarre fate by an unseen power. Even more chillingly, the authorities and doctors who tried to intervene had no answers. The people of Strasbourg, in their desperation, turned to a powerful source, the church. They believed this might be a punishment from God, and the dancers were being punished for some sin they had committed. Some thought it was the work of witches or even demons. But no one knew for sure what caused the plague to spread. In fact, the city council decided to hire musicians to play for the dancers, hoping to allow them to dance it out. The people danced, and danced, for days on end. More and more people were drawn into this curse. Weeks passed, and the dancing continued, until the authorities finally intervened. After the worst of the plague subsided, around 30 people had died from exhaustion, heart failure, or even strokes brought on by their constant motion. It seemed like the dancing had stopped, but many questions still remained unanswered. Why did it happen? What caused this mass hysteria? Why were people compelled to move, even at the cost of their own lives? Many historians and scientists have debated what happened that summer in Strasbourg. Several theories have been proposed over the years. Theory 1, Mass Hysteria. One of the most widely accepted theories is mass hysteria. People were living in stressful times, disease, famine, and war had ravaged Europe for years. It's possible that the stress of the time, combined with an overwhelming fear, led to an outbreak of collective madness. Under this theory, the mind could have triggered a psychological reaction, leading hundreds of people to believe they had to dance in a trance-like state. The fear and anxiety fed on each other, causing the people to move uncontrollably. Second theory, ergot poisoning. Another possibility is ergot poisoning. Ergot is a type of fungus that grows on damp rye and can produce hallucinations, convulsions, and, in extreme cases, death. Many believe that the outbreak of dancing could have been caused by people consuming bread made from contaminated grain, leading to a poisoning outbreak. However, this theory has its flaws. While ergot poisoning could cause hallucinatory behavior, it doesn't explain why so many people danced without stopping for such long periods. Third theory, religious or spiritual possession. A more supernatural theory suggests that the dancers were suffering from some form of possession. It's possible they believed they were possessed by a spirit or a deity and could not stop moving until they were purged. The people of the time were deeply religious, and many would have been open to the idea of spirits or supernatural forces controlling their bodies. In the end, the true cause of the dancing plague of 1518 remains a mystery. No one really knows why it happened or how it could have stopped. What we do know is this: it was a horrific and bizarre event, one that left a lasting mark on history. In the years since, the city of Strasbourg has remembered the dancing plague with unease. Some believe that the curse was never fully broken, that something darker still lurks beneath the surface. Is it possible that the human mind is capable of such strange, uncontrollable events? Or could it have been something much darker, something beyond human understanding? Whatever the cause, we will never truly know. But it's a reminder of how fragile the line is between the real world and the world of the unknown. Thank you for watching Dark Intel, and remember, the world is full of mysteries, waiting to be uncovered.